Diamond Peak is one of the Idaho 12,000-foot mountains. There's 9 of them. It is probably the second easiest to climb, but is absolutely the most fun. Now, it's going to be in south central Idaho. It's the only mountain on the Limhi range that's a 12,000-foot mountain. And you get there not too far from Mud Lake, Idaho. It's a bit of a trek to get through the farm roads or the ranch roads to get to the base of the mountain. The mountain itself, it's a well-defined trail up until the last about, 1,500 feet, which is a bunch of scrambling, a bunch of 50, maybe 30-foot ridges, each of which are a Class 3 to Class 4 scramble. Safe, fun, absolutely must do.
So here we are at the trailhead. Little fire pit. Looks like we're not the only ones in the mountain. Can't wait to see who else we're going to see today. And we're getting suited up. I guess it's possible to take a razor up the first little bit here. We definitely parked our car down below. It's actually one of the most challenging parts, the first 100 meters. Layer off because they were getting hot. Now we're on the trail proper, off the double track, and still have not yet reached the trees.
50 feet.
750 feet already. The trail is faint through the trees, but discernible. Busting out the tree line. I love all these white, pink, and purple flowers. This is the saddle, and that's the Riddler. We're gonna have a wonderful view of that for the rest of the day. Now we're gonna make it up this steep little bit, and then right when we get to that right knob, we begin the scrambling. And the scrambling along the ridge is totally the best part of the day. I love this ridge. It's so cool. The last little bit to the scrambling, it's kind of a slog, but coming down, it's mostly scree surfing. That'll go a lot quicker. I thought I was passing the path of least resistance, but turns out I got off a little bit and I got off the steep part of that shoulder. So I can see the trail right there, and I'll be on it in a second. Not quite 2 feet up, 1 foot back, but you can see how you're slipping on this. It's a little difficult going up. Trekking poles certainly help, but coming down, we're gonna fly. Looks like a good spot for a snack. Look at that, seats ready made for us. I think I'll make myself comfortable. Well, that was a nice lunch.
5:10.
And up we go. A great view that was. The last bit before we scramble, the switchbacks are nicely dug in. Trail's easy going. No, this is nearly the longest day of the year, just 1 day off. I hope we don't see too much of it. Love this little ridge. It's not particularly scary, but it has great views on either side. So my hiking boots have some protection for my ankle, protection for my toe, and good traction. And this is going to be great coming down the scree, so I absolutely wanted hiking boots. Also, because they're waterproof, any snow is not going to be a problem. My approach shoes, notice how they have a sharp edge, and this allows me to climb a little better. And since we're going to be scrambling, this is going to be safer and frankly a lot more fun. Trekking poles away, the first scramble. Clearly not very technical, but does require hands and feet. This is the best part about Diamond Peak, is you do so many feet of vertical scrambling, and the scrambling is safe and fun, and it's just like the funnest mountain ever. I mean, look at it, just miles of it. Another band of scrambling. Can't wait, can't wait. Ooh, the ridge is so cool. There you go, good move. Remember correctly, this is the most difficult scramble of the whole thing. It's still a 4. I mean, it's definitely not a 5.1 or 5.2, but I wouldn't call it a 3 either. This is that same thing we saw Rachel do a second ago. It looks really vertical and sketchy, but is actually not, because there's good handholds, there's not a lot of loose rock, everything is really solid. Just got to make sure you have 3 points of contact wherever you go, and you'll get up it pretty quick. If I was bringing young kids though, I would definitely let them climb it, but I would bring a rope also, just to have that extra measure of security. And there, if they slipped, they'd only slip a couple inches, and that would be the end of it. It's kind of hard to see with the GoPro, but there's a black line right here. It looks like tar that goes down the whole mountain, which is clearly weaker than a limestone on either side, which is why this dug out. Seriously, the scrambling is so much fun. There's always a million footholds and handholds, so you're never at want for that. But it's kind of interesting as you go. So I am loving it. That's Bell Mountain off in the distance, looking very sporty. And where we come down, just a pixel that's shimmering is our car. And over there, eye level, Saddle Mountain. And look at those cool limestone ribs. Just a view just gets better and better. A little bit of snow, but it's never in the way. Another one of the steeper sections here. Notice there's good handholds wherever I go. As long as I have 3 points of contact, I feel solid. I could stand up here, but it's really not the safest way. Safest way is to bend over and 3 points of contact. Little traverse here. Kind of looks like it's a scary way down, but it turns out that you're not going to get hurt if you slip a little bit. Lots of ways to stop. But look at the textures on these rocks. I mean, it's fantastic. You just can't beat these views.
They're really good. If not these.
Okay, so right here, you see a break. It's kind of weird. So why did this rock break like this? There must be something weak. And now we see some quartz crystals. And we're going to follow it up a little bit. Look at that, more crystals. The texture is different from place to place. Look at the crystals here. The whole way up. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? So what happened was the rock fissured here, had a cut, and then the water seeped down and formed these crystals. And you can see how they formed at different times because of the different patterns. The things you see in the mountains. A pile of rocks there is a cairn. There's a few of them. Unfortunately, I'm having trouble seeing them until I kind of passed them. There's all these delightful surprises. Woo! We're getting there. Not that much further. Just filled with all these really cool ridge walks. I love them. You're gonna trudge through the snow and go around. I'm going around to keep my shoes dry. The snow lines from the cornices from the winter kind of accent the mountains, don't you think? Yes. Ooh, I guess I'm at the top. That's kind of cool. Every time I go up this little path, looks like the trail is going to end, and then you get to the ridge, and it just surprises and delights every time. I guess I could have avoided the snow field, but it's so hard and not steep on the other side, that why not, right? These are horn coral fossils. Funny, these are only from the ocean. So this used to be underwater. The summit's getting closer, and the ridge is so much fun to walk on. Yeah, boy, we're getting there, aren't we? A little snowfield on this side, a little snowfield on this side. This is it, the summit of Diamond Peak. A little bit of snow on the south side, weirdly, where the north side is dry. So this is the top of Diamond Peak, and we're chilling here. It's a beautiful day, barely any wind, just hanging out. The temperature could not be any better. A little cornice right here, not too much, just enough to hide the summit register. I think under this little rock pile that's somewhere near there. But man, I have been up here 4 times and I've never had such a chill day on top.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
I just got a massive cramp. Ah!
And what is that? Stretches it?
Yeah.
Trying to keep up with Windy is basically impossible. She's so fast. Man, the walk down is so beautiful and easy and fun with the tremendous views on every side. Never get sick of it.
Everyone followed my path,
Mm-hmm.
which is a little more or less direct.
Yep. There you go. Oops, we may have caused those rock falls. Show me those mad scrambling skills. Yes. Nicely done. 3 points of contract. This is the hardest down climb of the entire route, and we came up, it was the one that I time-lapsed. It's really close to the first of the scrambles, so if you get over your head, this is the place to bail. Now that I'm off the scrambling part, back into my hiking boots, got my trekking poles, and I'm ready to scree surf. Here we go. Well, that's pretty much the last of the technical bit. Oh man, that's so much fun. I love this mountain. Now it's just a little scree surfing to get down. The poles are going to come in handy for that. When going downhill for hours at a time, super important you protect your knees. So you plant your poles in front of you, always in front of you, and try to push off your triceps as much as you can. This takes a lot of the weight off your knees and also makes you a lot more stable because now you have always at least 2, most of the time 3, sometimes 4 points of contact. So if your foot gives or one pole gives, you're still solid. Always in front of you, always in front of you. Of course, when you go uphill, it's the opposite. And it makes it going kind of quick. When you get to the bottom, your knees don't cry. I love it when you come to all these little ridges and suddenly the world drops out from below you and you see the magnificent view before you. That's so cool. And that's where we were, on that crazy ridgeline. Wow, look how shiny that rock is. That's beautiful. Basically, as soon as you get to the tree line, then you kind of get off of that scree surfing and the trail becomes fairly standard from there. It's really difficult to miss the trail, to be honest. Now, when we started, it was like 50 degrees, and at the top was about 50 degrees, because as we went up, we lose temperature with elevation, but gain temperature with time, so it's actually fairly constant. However, when you descend, temperature gets hotter with every step. It's gonna be like 90 at the car. We'll feel that. Well, back in the saddle again. Hey, isn't there a song about that? If you're gonna do a multi-day trip, this is a really good place to camp. Nice flat ground that's soft. You can see a lot of campsites that are pretty easy to set up a tent on. But for us, we have just a little more than 1,000 feet left to go. Wildflowers are sure out today. I mean, they're everywhere. And you can smell them. It's just extremely fragrant. And they're going fast. It's hard work keeping up. Is that jogging? Almost out of the trees now. It won't be long. I can actually make out the individual tracks of the road we drove in on. It's gonna be nice to open that cooler up and get something cool to drink. Oh yeah. This is the last tree. And there we are. Just a quick jaunt down to the car. It's such a nice ending to the hike because going across this field and the grade is even and the wind is blowing to keep cool us down. It's just nice. And you look back and you're like, I climbed that. Hey, look at you, little guy. What you doing, man? You're fast. I agree. Well, 7.5 hours of moving time, vertical mile, beautiful weather. This is definitely one of the best ways to spend the day in the mountains. I love Diamond Peak.